What's going on, traders? Welcome back to day 7 of 25 days of trading. I want to talk about the VWAP mistakes that 90% of traders out there are probably making. And I love VWAP. I trade VWAP almost exclusively. I have a whole strategy based around it. You guys can all get free access to it with the link down below. But the mistake is really treating it too much as a magic line. I sometimes joke about the magic line that I want to be short at or long at. But I think also you need to take in context of the day. Who's in control? What are the stocks doing today? What does the higher time frame look like, right? I don't want to get too complicated with it. I do try to simplify my trading with the VWAP and focus more heavily on that. Never fight it. But at the end of the day, it's not just we're at this line. If I buy it, I'll probably win. You need to take into account the sentiment and all these other things. So first off, let's just go over my trade today to get it out of the way. It's not your average looking long for myself, but you can look at it here on the 1 minute and you'll see, first of all, very rangy day. This is just terrible price action. I would not be surprised if anyone blew their account or just got chopped up chasing moves. But you can see my executions here. One trade, because this is not where I perform best. So if you need a new account, Top 1 Futures is still running their best sale for Black Friday. It's 57.5% off with code Evan. So check that out down below if you got wrecked today. Hopefully not. But looking at just the way it was bearish at the open. Move lower. First break of opening range low. Doesn't run. Even this second break is just like inducement, sweeping out all these stop losses on the longs there, right? Because you could see, I think ES had the better support today. Let's just go check to see if that's correct. Nice little barcode. The ES was really holding this previous day's New York VWAP, right? So I know there's a lot of people on stream liking longs off of this level. And you could see it there, but again, it stops right at the New York VWAP where it definitely could make a lower high. Induces all the amateurs to chase this breakout lower just because that's a terrible sell price. Selling it at the low after a giant 3-minute drop. But regardless, the longs we took today, I was just taking into account that I'm not actually fully bearish yet. And it might be stupid. I might get burnt for it today. But let's just bring over the 15-minute. You guys know I use this overnight VWAP in black. That, yes, we were below it. But we're right here where I'm long it. Could this, let's rewind it. And you'll really see what I was thinking. Could we be looking as a higher low here? Because let's zoom back to yesterday even. Yesterday, news came out. Obviously, it was corrected itself and buyers stepped back in. So let's call that our higher low. Maybe that's our higher low. Let's move our next higher high. But it broke lower. Doesn't mean this can't be our next higher low off the previous day's 930 New York VWAP. Okay, so I'm going to play that idea out that, let me zoom on out. What is my bias? Oh, well, since the start of the week, we set in the low on Monday. Higher low on Tuesday, higher low on Wednesday. Could this be the next higher low? I'm willing to find out because we're also making higher highs with these. So it's a fully bullish trend day after day. Buyers are more so in control in this environment. Then would I be surprised if buyers just stepped in here? Look how short-lived the bearish moves are. Even with the news yesterday, it's one bar down. Buyers step back in. You look at the Tuesday price action we had. It was buyers in control. 30 minutes of shorts working out, and then buyers just crawl us up a little back higher. So yes, we had definitely moved lower at the open. I'm not blind to that, but it doesn't mean they have to sustain all day and we just have this giant bearish day because trend is just not in the downside. So I was playing the idea that we could definitely form a higher low here. I guess I was right. I mean, we just chopped and still formed this one giant higher low, but just the whole idea of it's going to take a lot for me to want to sell it. So you can look at it on the regular trading hours, and you'll definitely even see the shorts, probably even more. It's moving lower, all below this New York, lower highs and lower lows. If this moves lower, not too surprising, but I'm willing to miss out on those because I don't want to be too early on saying sellers are in when they may not be, and they were not. So if this could have worked out, moved lower, retest, shorted again, I'll just get short down here. I'm fine getting a lower price if it means it's now more confirmed that sellers are in. And another thing to take a look at, which we could even look at today, go at some markups of just some trades this week. Here's today's trade. You can see very quick scalp as well. In an ugly market, I traded it VWAP to VWAP. I'm long at the New York, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, it looks like here. But it's the overnight VWAP, where I know we could still reject. I'm not blindly saying we have to make all-time highs today. I'm thinking we can catch a pop here because bullish trend is still running itself, and we're at the next VWAP. But going into some trades this week. The slope of the VWAP is very important. I have videos on that as well. The slope of the VWAP, either it's the New York or this overnight in black, it's moving higher. So that's some sort of indication of trend. Those are the conditions that we're going to all probably trade best in when we're trading this trending VWAP strategy, right? So I also take into account the VWAP slope. Let's take a look at today's VWAP. If you look on this afternoon, let's go to 2 minute just so we can see all these candles. All this price action, what is the New York VWAP and the previous day's New York VWAP doing or telling us? It's absolutely flat. So there's no sentiment behind that saying buyers are fully in control or sellers are trying to step in and move us lower. The VWAP is horizontal. It was moving lower at the open here, but then just flat. Obviously, if you couldn't see the chop for yourself, the VWAP is there to also tell you, hey, yeah, we're not really trending. Right? So when I can get a sloping VWAP in line with that higher time frame trend, now I get the two variables that I need to find my best trades, right? We're moving lower here, break of open range low, retest to New York VWAP, a down sloping New York VWAP. Yeah, that would make sense that we can move lower because sellers are moving us lower and the VWAP is following along with it, not just moving flat. Another thing to look at is also this edge fill stat was very crazy today. I know a couple people were looking for longs in the afternoon. Yes, it was a very sideways day, but I was veering more so on the side of shorts. Now, this is way after my trade because you can still see my execution on there, that we got this break of the initial balance low. So not that we can't go back to the highs because that would be in line with my bullish bias, but now this is after new information, right? My long bias was back here. Now that we broke this initial balance low, I don't know if we also break the initial balance high and break for new highs of day, especially when it's ranging. But if you just go over to edge fill here, the initial balance is the first hour of the day compared to the 15-minute opening range, that the chances that we double break, filtering it today on a Thursday, in the past 6 months of Thursdays, only 2 of them. So 7% of the time we double break the initial balance on Thursdays. Well, we took the bottom, so you're telling me there's a 7% chance we go break the highs here as well in the same day. Yeah, then I don't really want to long it back up because I don't know if we'll have the gas to do that, being that we took out the bottom. So I was not looking for longs in the afternoon. I actually was maybe looking for shorts, but it's also tough to short it above the New York VWAP. So that's where you do nothing, right? They don't always have to be in the ideas that you have. I was looking, not liking longs. Doesn't mean it's giving me a favorable short either. I just know what I don't want to do, and I can't do what I want to do because it's not presenting the way I want, right? So hopefully that makes sense as well. Super choppy though, but I just knew I didn't want to long it or expect the longs, right? You could have definitely respected the longs above this New York, saying, well, buyers are defending it. Yes, but that stat alone tells you, yeah, we probably don't go up there. So it's very unlikely that we do. Why would I look for longs? But I think just even on a non-choppy day, right, what people need to take into account on VWAP, this is yesterday's New York, higher highs, higher lows. This VWAP, the mistake you guys don't make, hopefully, is that it is a great price to be buying it off of or selling it off of in the trend, that when we have structure with the VWAP, now I could take a trade. Today there's no structure, but there's obviously VWAPs on my chart. I don't really love the trade, right? So you can't just have one without the other. You still need to have trending structure with the VWAPs and that higher time frame bias, because you look at yesterday, I was bullish because of all the higher highs and higher lows this week. So when I get more higher highs and higher lows here at the open, and a retest off the VWAP, well, now I'm not making a mistake of blindly thinking we can go higher, right? Everything is kind of telling me that we probably could. So now I'm comfortable to take the trade, right? So just make sure you guys keep an eye on the slope of it. Make sure you guys check out ASFX TV. I just dropped my update to Futures 2.0, which is my full VWAP strategy from A to Z. I added some more chapters, redid some chapters. So if you want full access to it, it's absolutely free. Just use the link in my bio. You get your first month free, and then with that, you study it. Start trading it for yourself maybe, but also tune into the live streams where we take the setups every morning, right? You can see our short yesterday and our long today. So tune into the streams, ask questions, get better each and every day with the full strategy with the boys. But I'll appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.